A woman was arrested for selling alcohol to a man accused of crashing into a group of motorcyclists, killing 4 of them. The motorcyclists were part of the Thin Blue Line Motorcycle Club, where most members are peace officers. And as Eyewitness News reporter Jaleesa Irizarry explains, more disciplinary action could be coming.
4 funerals in 10 days. That is the stark reality for the Thin Blue Line Motorcycle Club as they say goodbye to their brothers in blue.
You know, our brothers deserve justice, and we hope that's what's served.
That justice David Weed is talking about is the recent arrest of 37-year-old Renelle Diane Welch, the store clerk at a Dollar General. Authorities say Ivan Robles Navejas visited just an hour before the crash. Navejas, an undocumented immigrant, was also arrested.
Anytime there is a alcohol-connected accident, we begin what we call a source investigation. And the goal of that is to determine the source of any alcohol that was involved in the accident.
That investigation took the TABC to Center Point, where they say Welch knowingly sold alcohol to Robles Navejas while he was already drunk, charging her with sale to certain person, which is punishable by up to a year in jail.
Because this case is still under investigation, we can't get too deep into the specifics.
While TABC would not say if they had physical evidence against Welch or if Robles Navejas visited any other businesses for alcohol, they say more accountability could soon be coming.
We're not able to really get into details on whether or not there'll be further charges, but I would say that this clerk's arrest is likely the first step in some further action down the line.
Action Weed knows won't bring his brothers back, but it's something that could bring a sliver of solace.
In the grand scheme of things, it's a small step, but we appreciate it.
Jaleesa Irizarry, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
We did reach out to Dollar General today in response to the arrest. They declined to comment, saying, "At this time, we are referring all inquiries to local authorities as to not hinder their investigation."